Morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. Thank you so much as ever for joining me today. And as you can see today with this beautiful lush green behind me, we're in another beautiful London spot. This particular area is called Royal Crescent. That's right. Now Royal Crescent really started way back in the 1800s, and it's one of those areas now that you really do need quite a bit of money for to be able to live in this area. To give you an example, people who have houses here are none other than Madonna, Simon Cowell, various aristocrats, and of course just the rich and wealthy. So that's you and me there. Yes. These gardens that you're looking at behind me here, these trees and everything, let me tell you, these are private gardens as well. So even though you live in these multi-million-pound houses, you do have to pay extra, and you're allowed a key if you want to go into the gardens, just to give you a bit of an idea. The reason for these gardens when they originally were built, as I say, in the 1800s, was that you could promenade. And promenading really was the 18th century version of Instagram, really. You know, you would wander up and down in your finest clothes, you know, tipping hats at each other, all that sort of stuff, to see who was wealthy, who was in town, who was out, and more importantly, who was in favour and definitely was out of favour. Yes. Back as ever though to your Breaking Royal story of the day. This particular story I just wanted to highlight to you because at the time of filming this, we don't actually know yet if our brilliant Lionesses have won their game. But we do wish them well. Everybody over here in the United Kingdom, Northern Ireland, Scotland and Wales are all cheering them on. They've done exceptionally well. Who would have thought that it's come to this after so little time in the spotlight? Now, as we know, they have a major royal fan, that of the beautiful Princess Charlotte. She, of course, who was taking command on a recent Platinum Jubilee celebration by telling Louis when to stop waving. Do you remember? I love her, in fact. I think she's going to be one of those people that'll certainly keep other members of the royal family in check, including His Royal Highness Prince William. Now here's where the story got a little bit darker for me, because rather beautifully, I thought, Charlotte and William decided to put out a very good look video on their own personal accounts, you know, the royal YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, that sort of stuff. And I thought it was a delightful thing to do, you know. I mean, after all, we do know that Princess Charlotte enjoys the occasional game of football. According to Kate, she'd like to do more, but obviously I think Kate would like her to do other things rather than just kicking a football around the back garden of Kensington Palace. But over here what's happened is a bit of a backlash, because William and Catherine, amongst others, have been basically accused of exploiting the royal children simply on a day when there was another story featuring His Royal Highness Prince Charles regarding some ill-gotten funds, if you believe the story. But as we've told you before, what's interesting, I find, is this. All of these stories come out with a great bang, you know, and all that sort of stuff. And then a week or so later, it gets proven in a very smaller paragraph that in fact it's nothing to do with the said story at all. But of course at that point the headlines made the headlines around the world. But back to William and Charlotte, it does appear that, you know, because of the social media world and the digital world that we live in, this has been a bit of an onslaught. And really this must be really upsetting for Catherine and William. And Catherine, by the way, is out busy with another charity down at Portsmouth, looking wonderful in nautical clothing, I might point out today. But on a serious note, isn't it a shame that our wonderful monarchy can't reach out and simply wish all the very best to our Lionesses, particularly such a young girl? And, you know, forget she's a princess, forget of course he's His Royal Highness Prince William. It's a father and daughter doing their very best to wish one of our wonderful teams the very best. And then they're accused, as I say, of all sorts of terrible things on the world of digital media, social media platforms, that sort of stuff. Hopefully this story won't make it into the newspapers, but at the time, as I say, of recording this, we don't know whether the brilliant Lionesses have indeed won their game, but we do send them all our very best. Come on, let's all give them a big wave. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.